This is CBC Here and Now.
And those alerts are then sent to the public on different mediums or platforms such as TV, radio, and compatible cell phones.
Tonight, a boy is safe. His father faces charges, but there are questions about why it took nearly 2 hours for an Amber Alert to appear on your phone. Good evening and welcome to Here and Now. I'm Carolyn Stokes. A Corner Brook man arrested in connection with yesterday's Amber Alert will stay behind bars until his next appearance. The 47-year-old was arrested last night in Port aux Basques at the Marine Atlantic Ferry Terminal. It's alleged he was attempting to abduct his son. Crown Prosecutor Adam Sparks and legal aid attorney Jamie Luscombe appeared in court this afternoon. They agreed to the man being remanded in custody. There's also a publication ban in effect to protect the identity of the boy. The man is facing 5 charges, including parental child abduction, theft of a vehicle, and 3 breaches of court orders. He will return to court in Corner Brook January 14th. Well, police are thanking the public for their help in finding the boy and his father. The story spread quickly online, but as Here and Now's Katie Breen reports, the message wasn't as quick to reach our phones.
When the Amber Alert was made public yesterday, this pop-up text wasn't triggered right away. It took 2 hours for a cell phone emergency alert to come through. Traditional media and social media had the story, but with people always on or near their phones, having almost every cell in the province sound with a mass text message is going to get attention. That kind of alert arguably has the most reach.
The addition of wireless to the toolbox that the authorities have to issue alerts definitely increase the visibility of the system. And ultimately, it's about reaching as many Canadians as possible.
At 3:15 yesterday afternoon, the RNC shared the Amber Alert on social media and sent out a press release. The province says it took an hour for police to approach them about activating the emergency phone messages. Then it took more than another hour for police and the provincial government to prepare the text and send it out. The RNC says tips were coming in from other channels that whole time, and ultimately, the child was found. But police say there is room for improvement.
When you have a situation like this, or any of these situations, investigations, and when they unfold, we sit back and have a review of how it unfolded and what went right for us and in areas that we can change and improve on. So that's something we're in the process of doing now. Yesterday's
case is believed to be the first ever Amber Alert in Newfoundland and Labrador. It's definitely the first since the emergency alert cell phone system went live in 2018. And if your phone didn't go off with this sound yesterday, albeit delayed, there is an explanation. The director of the countrywide alert system says your phone has to have relatively new software and be connected to a strong mobile network.
The wireless component of Alert Ready only works with LTE or 4G. So if you're connected to 3G, you may not receive the alert. So that's one of the factors that may explain why someone may not receive it on their device.
Katie Breen, CBC News, St. John's.
I'm feeling good and much better. I was very, worried for the last 4 days, so it's feeling much better now.
Feeling better now because he has his car back, although it has a few scratches. We have the latest on the guy whose car was stolen over the holidays while he was inside a church. The RNC is conducting an internal review of a burglary investigation that the victims say was mishandled. Yesterday, we told you how a couple in St. John's tracked down their stolen property by following an ad on Kijiji. But when they passed the tip on to police, it wasn't acted on in time to get a search warrant. So what does it take for police to get a warrant? And should you go looking for your own stolen stuff? Here now, Zach Gowdy has a look at those questions.
It's extremely frustrating. It's really frustrating to know that we basically gave them the case on a silver platter.
Drew Brown can't understand how it happened. On New Year's Eve, his home was burglarized, Christmas presents stolen. The next day, his wife Sarah found their stuff for sale on Kijiji. She went to the seller's home, clearly spotted their stolen property, and gave all the info to police. But then, nothing happened.
The RNC is conducting an internal review into how this case was handled. But after our story aired, other people contacted us with their own examples. People who had tracked down their own stolen stuff and say police failed to act on the information.
I had a break-in myself in August and had my laptop, among other things, stolen. I had software on the laptop that could track its location and activate the camera if connected to the internet. I got one report that pinpointed the laptop within a 37-meter radius, but the RNC said that wasn't good enough for a warrant, even though there was just one house in that radius, and I had a photo of the person using my stolen laptop.
I tracked down my stolen car, witnessed the thief get out of my car and walk into his house. RNC is a joke. They wouldn't even knock on the door. No wonder people take it upon themselves to get justice.
In terms of a person actually taking the investigation in their own hands, I was trying to recommend against that.
Veteran RNC investigator Tom Warren says police take property crime seriously, but it isn't like the movies. To get a search warrant, there are 3 conditions that police have to meet. 1, reasonable belief that a crime has occurred. 2, belief that recovering an item would provide evidence of the crime. Those are the easy ones.
And the final element that is required, which in a lot of situations, Zach, becomes very, very complicated. We have to prove that the item that we're searching for is at a specific location. Again, speculation, assumptions, presumption is not enough. We have to reasonably believe that the article we're looking for is going to be at a specific location at a specific time.
The time element is where the investigation into the Brown case appears to have gone awry. Because the RNC didn't act quickly after receiving the tip, it can no longer have reasonable belief that the stolen goods were still inside the house that Sarah Brown visited. But had she not visited the house and eyeballed her stolen PlayStation, it's not clear that police would have acted at all. Inspector Warren says an online ad is not enough evidence for a search warrant, even if you strongly suspect that that's your PlayStation for sale.
So the fact that a person is advertising a Kijiji, or pardon me, a PlayStation on Kijiji, doesn't provide us with a definite, absolute that this particular PlayStation is the PlayStation that was stolen. Suspicion itself would not provide us with reasonable grounds to obtain a search warrant. What I would suggest is that if individuals become aware of information and have the suspicion, that they will contact their local police.
In the real world, the police, like all organizations, are sometimes constrained by resources, and sometimes things don't happen the way they're supposed to. But Warren says it cuts both ways. Rush the case, and a sloppy or incomplete search warrant could result in evidence being thrown out of court. And of course, the whole issue is getting more complex at a time when technology is giving regular people the means to be their own detectives. Zach Gowdy, CBC News, St. John's.
Well, the Northern Ranger is returning to Labrador. The ferry began serving the Labrador coast in 1986 and was supposedly docked for good back in 2018. But the Mushwa Innu First Nation bought it to serve the Labrador coast once again. The plan is to have the ship deliver freight between Natwashish and Happy Valley Goose Bay. If all goes smoothly, residents in Natwashish could see the Northern Ranger docking there this summer.
I've got a few things on the go as we head through the weekend this weekend. Light snow tomorrow for most of the island. Quiet for Labrador. Should actually see plenty of sunshine. And the next weather maker, this one's looking significant for eastern portions of Newfoundland. I already have a special weather statement in effect. We could see some blizzard conditions at times. I'll tell you how much snow and when it's going to start coming up.
Thanks, Ashley. Well, former longtime politician Tom Hickey has died.
I wanted to come down to be in St. John's to officially declare this campaign open and this headquarters open, because this seat has to be represented by Tom Hickey in the House of Commons.
Right on, right on. Of course, that's then Prime Minister Brian Mulroney endorsing Tom Hickey back in 1987. Hickey's political career spanned nearly half a century, beginning in 1962 when he served as a councillor in the town of Placentia. He went on to join the Progressive Conservatives and was re-elected to the House of Assembly 5 times over 2 decades. He founded and led the now defunct Newfoundland and Labrador First Party in 2004. Hickey passed away yesterday morning. He was 86. Well, a happy ending, sort of, to a story we brought you earlier this week. An international student has now been reunited with his stolen car. Sachin Suresh was attending a holiday event when his car was taken from the parking lot. Here and Now's Meg Roberts brought you that story earlier this week and has this update.
Almost a week ago, Sachin Suresh didn't know if he would ever see his newly purchased vehicle again. He had spent all of his savings on the car and planned on selling it at the end of the school year to buy a ticket back home to India. But after the car was stolen, he saw that plan vanish, and all he could do was hope to get it back. 4 days later, he did.
I'm feeling good and much better. I was very, worried for the last 4 days, so it's feeling much better now.
Last Saturday, Suresh was attending a holiday event at St. David's Church. When he went to get his coat at the end of the night, he realized it had been stolen, which meant so were the keys in his jacket pocket and the car. The RNC says the car was found Tuesday morning in the city center after a member of the public called in.
I strongly believe the reason I got the car back is because of the shares everyone made. I'm very thankful for that because there are a lot of people who are sharing my post about the missing car from CBC and from friends.
Although thankful, it's not all good news. The car was found with a smashed windshield, a dent in the back left bumper, and stolen license plates. Suresh said syringes were also found in the car, which had been driven about 650 kilometers.
It's been a lot of, it's difficult for a student, especially for having a car and all these things happened.
The RNC says the public is crucial in finding stolen cars. It has not laid any charges, but says the investigation is ongoing. Suresh says he's just happy to have his car back and to get out of the spotlight. Meg Roberts, CBC News, St. John's.
Fun thing to do, but it's good to have a purpose. If we're going to go ahead and run into the ocean and, run the scream into the ocean, it's good to be able to give back at the same time.
Taking it on the chin for a good cause. We'll tell you why some people are planning to dive into the ocean at Topsail Beach this weekend.
back to the program. First, we start with breaking news.
Temperatures are dropping into the minus single digits.
Time now to check in with our Carolyn Stokes.
It is just packed with people.
The company says it's picking up salmon.
Looks like an absolutely gorgeous afternoon.
Time for a look at the weather forecast, but before we get to that, Ashley, we want to introduce you to the oldest person born this year. Have a look. Because this is little Kalina Bishop, this province's first 2020 baby. She was born at 5:57 a.m. on New Year's Day at the Janeway Hospital in St. John's to parents Sabrina Roberts and Chris Bishop. Congratulations.
How sweet. Kalina was born at a healthy 8 pounds and 4 ounces and is one of 10 new babies this year who will get a brand new car seat from the Newfoundland and Labrador Medical Association.
Yeah, the association makes those donations every year as a way of promoting the use of approved car seats. Great idea.
How adorable.
Wonderful.
Congratulations. The oldest new baby
of this year.
Good one. That was a good one.
So we're heading into the weekend now. Yay.
We are. With the holidays, it always plays with
confusing.
Plays with things. Yes, it's definitely confusing. Yeah, we got a little bit of weather on the way as we head into the weekend. We'll certainly get into that. But today's temperature is pretty nice out there, hovering around the 0, just above or just below for the majority of the province. Again, that coldest air sitting in Labrador City at minus 13. There is a little bit of a warm up on the way for you, but as far as satellite radar goes, not a whole lot happening. There is some scattered flurries happening for the Avalon and along the west coast, just not picking them up on radar right now. But again, nothing too significant, and nothing too significant as we head through the night tonight either. Just some lingering flurry activity expected along the west-south coast as well as the Avalon by the time overnight rolls around. Some flurries possible for Lab City and then coastal areas of the Big Land as well. Some lighter snow or some rather heavier snow will move in by the time the early morning rolls around for the west coast. So here's where you'll be sitting. Minus 8 for Grand Falls, Windsor. That looks like that will be where we'll see the coolest air overnight tonight. Minus 2 for St. John's. Those winds out of the west easing a little bit, 20 to 40 kilometers per hour. Light winds on the west coast, and same for Lab City, minus 15 overnight low tonight, minus 5 for Cartwright, and same thing for St. Anthony with those winds just a little bit brisk, 20 to 40 kilometers per hour. As we head through the day tomorrow, not a whole lot going except for some flurries or light snow moving across the province, the island rather. Best chance of seeing potentially some showers mix in will be for the south coast, the Burin Peninsula, as well as the Avalon. But again, could pick up a quick couple of centimeters, but not too much as far as that goes, and then quiet up through the Big Land. Just some coastal flurries possible again for coastal Labrador through the day, but again, not too much. Just maybe some clearing late day as well through parts of Central. So here's where you'll be sitting temperature-wise, but 1 degree, hence why I mentioned we could see the potential for a few showers or change over to showers down through the southern portion of the Avalon, as well as Burin Peninsula. Minus 2 for Clarenville tomorrow. Similar temperatures as we head towards Central. Flurry activity possible, but then clearing into the evening, maybe along the northeast coast. You may not even see any flurries through the day tomorrow, and if they do happen, they'll be scattered in nature. Along the west coast, about minus 1 degree towards the south coast. Port aux Basques sitting at 1 degree tomorrow. Some westerlies, not too bad, anywhere from 15 to 20 kilometers per hour. Sunshine as you head towards the northern peninsula, minus 3 for Mary's Harbor. Westerlies, 20 to 40 kilometers per hour. And then towards Happy Valley, Goose Bay, it does look like plenty of sunshine. Same for Nain at minus 7. And then Lab City, you're going to be sitting around minus 12. Now, heading into Sunday, into Monday, that is a different story. It does look like we're going to see a system move through. Special weather statement in effect for most of eastern Newfoundland. We could see some blizzard conditions at times. I'll tell you when the snow is going to start, how much is expected when I come back. Carolyn?
Thanks, Ashley. Well, when the temperatures dip, most people don't really think about taking a dip, but tomorrow dozens of people will take a polar plunge. It's the third year the Beard and Mustache Club has organized this swim. Here Now's Peter Cohen found out why.
What sort of temperature do you think the ocean is right now?
Oh, I really don't know, but I can guarantee you it's going to be very, very cold.
I was going to say, there's lots of people who don't even come and swim at Topsail Beach in the summer. Why decide to jump into it in the middle of the winter?
It all just kind of started a couple of years ago as a fun way to ring in the new year and also help raise a bit of money for our local food banks.
So describe the event. How many people do you normally have that come and want to jump in the ocean?
So the first year we had maybe 60 people came out total, and maybe 20 or 30 got in the water. Last year we had about 200 people on the beach, and about 60 to 70 people actually jumped in and took part in the polar bear dip. So that's what we usually see in terms of numbers.
Do you do it yourself?
I do not. I'm not built for getting into this kind of weather for my own health.
And do people wear wetsuits, or do a lot of people just jump in with a regular bathing suit? And
we see it all. Some people come in, they have wetsuits on, which is a smart way to go. Some people come in and they have like a teeny tiny bikini. Some people have more like board shorts. Whatever you're comfortable in, we're not going to judge either way.
And even though it's the Beard and Mustache Club organizing it, there's lots of people without beards or mustaches that come down and participate.
Just like everything we do, it's the beard inside that counts. Anybody's welcome to come out.
And it's also a fundraiser. Why do you decide to do that as well?
So it's a fun thing to do, but it's good to have a purpose. If we're going to go ahead and run into the ocean and, run the scream into the ocean, it's good to be able to give back at the same time. So we do a bit of fundraising for Bridges to Hope. They're an organization we partner with a few times a year. They're the province's largest food bank, and people will be asked to come out, either bring a cash donation, bring a food donation with you, or if you, in today's online world, a lot of people like to donate online. On our Facebook page, we have a link to make an online donation as well.
Why do people decide to do it?
I think just so they can say that they did, I think is the biggest reason. It's a fun thing to do. It's something that not everybody gets to say that they did, and it's just a different thing.
Well, good luck with it. I, like many people, will be watching from the shore as much braver people decide to go in and do it.
Likewise. Thank you very much.
Just a little taste of the feast of Cohen that will be happening here tonight at the LSPU Hall in St. John's. Coming up on Here and Now, I'll speak with organizer Vicki Hines. Welcome back to Here and Now. Well, if you are hungry for some masterful songwriting, then a feast awaits you here tonight at the LSPU Hall in St. John's. It's the 20th anniversary production of A Feast of Cohen, where local songwriters and singers come together to perform the late, great Leonard Cohen songs. And joining me now is the creator of the event, Vicki Hines. So 20 years. How are you feeling about that?
Pretty old. Well, you know, I was just saying to a few of my backing vocals crew there, the Conettes, that, you know, this started out as a very casual affair amongst artists who have deep appreciation for Leonard Cohen and his songwriting. And it just got a little more serious about the presentation as the years went on, because there were so many people that really appreciated and wanted to hear all the different takes and presentations. So that led us to 20 years later.
What has kept this show going for so long?
It's their love for Leonard Cohen and his writing and his melodies. You know, there's something very appealing on a personal level in his writing, where you always feel that it's a personal message or an experience that he's sharing with you. And I think that appeal has crossed generations and countries and the heavens.
And it seems like in Newfoundland and Labrador in particular, there are a lot of Leonard Cohen fans. Why do you think that is?
I think that his appeal has always been there. And once you start getting a little older, it just is enhanced, and it has all the more attraction for people to come and listen to the words and how somebody presents that in their own way, or in the formalized way that he presented it himself, Leonard Cohen.
For anyone who has never been to this show before, what can audiences expect here tonight?
The first half is your regular troupe and this magnificent band we have here behind us, led by Sandy Morris. And we have a lot of embellishments, we'll say, and a lot more of a crew that comes on stage, because we've been all working together for so many years. So, you know, the bar gets raised a little bit higher for us. Then in the second half, you normally, you know, you see half a dozen performers and artists that you've never seen before at Feast of Cohen. Sometimes you'll have a returning artist, but for the most part, it's fresh faces, and these people are pursuing their own music careers and stuff like that. You know, one in particular, Mallory Johnson, she's currently working down in Nashville. And, you know, like there are others, like this artist behind me right now. This is really unusual, somebody playing the harp. So this is the kind of thing, I don't want to give away too much, so.
And will there be any of Leonard Cohen's songs from the new posthumous album performed tonight?
Absolutely, absolutely. Nice. I won't tell you, you know, who or which one, but there are, you know. It came out so late, so there's one of the songs on there that's going to be performed for sure. But other program selections are some from his last two before this latest work, you know, posthumously. So I think it's going to be a very interesting evening again. And of course, opening night, you don't know what's going to happen. There's always that excitement too, right?
Well, thank you so much, Vicki Hines, and good luck tonight.
Oh, you're most welcome, darling. Most welcome.
Mr. Pinn has a violent history and violent past.
Am I going to be rolling on this? All right.
In local news, Philip Pinn is back in custody.
Okay, now hold on one second for real.
More jail time for Philip Pinn.
The whole point of this, right?
This would be a documentary, so this is about rehabilitation.
Do you think he can turn his life around?
I know he can.
It's hard to rehabilitate people when they're around a bunch of criminals.
And second chances. And how do you pick yourself up and move forward?
All these people that judge my kid, they're all full of shit.
It was my fault, like it was on me.
Philip is not a monster.
I don't look down and I don't judge people for their mistakes and stuff, and I expect the same.
Welcome back. In international news today, Tehran says it will have a harsh response to a U.S. airstrike overnight, the targeted killing of a top Iranian general. It marks a dramatic escalation of tensions between Washington and Iran. President Donald Trump is defending the U.S. airstrike that killed Iran's top general, calling it a response to an imminent threat. The drone strike by the U.S. happened near Baghdad airport soon after Qasem Soleimani arrived in Iraq. Iran's state TV says a total of 10 people were killed in the attack. Soleimani was the head of Iran's elite military force. He was seen as the second most powerful figure in the country after its supreme leader. Soleimani was also considered a key player in Tehran's growing military influence in the Middle East. And as I mentioned, the reaction from Tehran has been swift and strong. Iran's foreign minister is calling the assassination an act of state terrorism. The regime is unified in saying the U.S. will pay for the killing, and according to Iran's supreme leader, that revenge will be severe. Here he is visiting Soleimani's home today. He's called for 3 days of national mourning. And these are images of protesters outside the UN headquarters in Tehran today, echoing the supreme leader's words, calling for revenge. Well, a new groundbreaking study shows AI is as good as, if not better than, expert radiologists at detecting breast cancer. When compared to their human counterparts, the system also showed fewer false negatives where tests are wrongly classified as normal. The researchers hope artificial intelligence will give faster and better screening of cancers. CBC's Alana Petrov has the details.
Medical researchers say they were surprised and impressed at how artificial intelligence could pinpoint breast cancer. This is a skill that can take mere mortals years to learn. The study found that an artificial intelligence system was better at spotting cancer than a single doctor working alone. It wasn't perfect, but researchers said that with AI, there was a significant improvement. The study worked with dozens of doctors and researchers in the US and the UK. These individuals worked with Google Health to train an artificial intelligence system to spot breast cancer in mammograms. Let's take a look at some of the results and key figures. In this study, the AI system was used in the US, and there was a 9.4% reduction in false negatives. That means doctors missed the cancer sometimes, but with AI, they spotted cancer 9.4% more. And in the UK, the AI system led to a 2.7% reduction in false negatives. That means they spotted cancer nearly 3% more. A doctor in the US who is part of this research says the study showed how AI could help medical professionals.
Unfortunately, like most diagnostic tests, are not perfect and can't always catch the cancer. In fact, according to the American Cancer Society, up to 1 in 5 women can have their cancer missed on a mammogram. Using these tools allows clinicians to have significantly more free time to concentrate on what we all went to medical school for, which is to actually take care of patients.
Doctors are hoping a new diagnosis system which incorporates AI could mean more accurate results and shorter waiting times for patients to get their diagnoses. Alana Petrov, CBC News, London.
Well, sometimes the people you play hockey with can become like family. But in the White Horse Women's Hockey League, it's more likely they are your family. This year, there are 5 mother-daughter pairs playing in the league. And this season, the league is so popular, there's a wait list to get in. CBC's George Meritus has the story.
13 hours. That's how long it took for registration for the White Horse Women's Hockey League to fill up this year. 8 teams, rosters full.
It was a surprise, I think, because in the last couple of years there's been people sign up late or whatever, and you're kind of like canvassing, like reminding people, don't forget to sign up by the deadline. And this year, it was just, we didn't even, like, there's people who were away and didn't even get a chance to get to an internet connection to register, right? So they're like, oh man.
You just got to be right on top of it, you know, when they send those emails out and say, sign up, you better do it.
It just speaks to like the camaraderie and like the community. The White Horse Women's community is really strong, and like the connections you make with other women, it invites more women to come play, right? Because they hear that it's so much fun, so welcoming and accepting.
Women have played hockey in Whitehorse for decades, but until recently, only a certain type of player was lacing them up.
It's grown immensely. Like when I first started playing in '86, there was one competitive team, and it was competitive. So if you weren't able to kind of keep up with, you know, competitive hockey, or you weren't good enough for competitive hockey, there was nowhere else to play.
The surge in women playing in the league has not come by fluke. A deliberate change was made, led by some of the more experienced players in the city. That change? Add more teams.
There was a few ladies that got together and said, hey, you know, if we're going to have a league in this town, we need to build that league. We need to grow that league. And to do that, you need to make it all encompassing. So it can't be just competitive. It has to be for everybody to play.
The change has worked. Now the league has players ranging in age from 18 to 65. Some have played for years, and others are just learning the game.
It was a leap of faith. Pretty much, I'd never skated before, so the first hockey game was the first time on the ice. But you got that equipment on, so you're good to go.
Yeah, I think it's fantastic, and I think it's a really good lesson, if you want to call it that, for other sports that are struggling. Maybe open it up, maybe make it a little bit more inclusive. I mean, they've done a fantastic job of growing the sport here.
The anyone-can-play approach has turned the league into family for many. In some cases, it actually is. This year, the league boasts 5 sets of mothers and daughters.
I've always loved sports, and I watched her play for her whole career, you know, as a youngster all the way up. And when I was about 40, I decided that I'd give it a try.
What was that like?
Great. We had a lot of fun.
She got kicked off of a team in high school. She was the goalie.
Wow.
And she was too old. So they did an ID check. So I think that left a bad mark on her, and then she was like, oh, it's enough time has passed. I can try it again.
Oh, it's a blast. Yeah, no, it's great. It's a good family affair twice a week. So our husbands come to the game and cheer us on. So it's kind of nice for my husband and father-in-law to bond. And
I don't always respond, though, when she yells mom for the pass.
It's so much fun. I mean, it's like reading somebody's mind if you know them really well. I think the league has done a wonderful job of growing the league and making it inclusive for everybody, and I think that has been key in having the mother-daughter partners that get to play. And it's a very encouraging league, and I think that has made the difference.
This year's popularity doesn't look to be a one-off either. More young players are eager to join the women's league when they turn 18, and other women are looking to learn the game later in life.
Somebody asked me once when I was going to quit playing hockey, and I said when I'm not having fun anymore, and I think that's going to be a long time yet.
I've had kids stop me on my way into the rink and look at me and say, aren't you too old to play hockey?
And what do you say?
I say, of course not.
Never too old, never too young.
That's it. Never too old. Yeah, just keep going.
George Meritus, CBC News, Whitehorse.
1, 2, 3, SFC!
Welcome back to Here and Now, everyone. So we're going to have a look at the weekend weather, and you mentioned earlier that some stormy weather is on the way.
It appears that way right now. I mean, we are still a couple of days away, but we'll take a shot at what the early forecast is for the next system. This is Sunday into Monday. And really, it's going to be an eastern Newfoundland storm. West Coast, you get to sit this one out. Just a couple of centimeters on the way for you as you head towards the east, though. That's where most of that accumulation will be. It looks like right now anywhere from 25 to 35 centimeters of snow is possible with this system. And then right along the south coast, potential to see some mixing, and I'll show you why. So here's a look at the future tracker. We start to see that system move in, at least some snow starting anywhere from noon to about 3 o'clock for the Avalon and the Burin Peninsula. And then as it really starts to get going, there's that pink line. So that's why I was mentioning right along the south coast is where we could see the mixing. Any change in this track will change that, obviously. So certainly going to have to keep an eye on the forecast this weekend. And it does look like that snow will be heavy through the overnight. That's when those winds are really going to ramp up. The snow should taper off into the afternoon on Monday. So here's where we're going to be sitting temperature-wise, about -1 for St. John's, -3 for Gander, same temperature around -1 for Corner Brook, and then plenty of sunshine up through Labrador. So actually a nice Saturday or Sunday for you, just a chance of a few flurries for Happy Valley, Goose Bay, sitting around -10. And again, those windy conditions with that through the afternoon and into the overnight into Monday, we could see some blizzard conditions. So could see gusts upwards of about 100 kilometers per hour through the day. There's the look at the future trackers. We head overnight into Monday morning. The snow will eventually taper to flurries by the time the afternoon rolls around, but Monday morning could be quite messy as far as the Avalon and eastern Newfoundland goes. As we head into Tuesday, going to hang on to that chance of flurries for most of us on the eastern portion of the island. Otherwise, just going to stay cloudy with that chance of showers, rather flurries continuing. And then for Wednesday, the next one moves in. This one, again, track not really well agreed upon, but we could see a transition to rain quickly or briefly overnight into Thursday before that changes right back over to snow through the day. So here's a look at the next 5 days. Again, windy conditions pretty much through Tuesday. Well, Monday for sure, Tuesday potentially -2. But again, significant snowfall expected as we head into Monday. And for central Newfoundland, not quite as windy, but still breezy through the day on Sunday. Monday, looking at -3, those overnight lows dipping into the -teens. Basically flurries for you in western Newfoundland, maybe a few peaks of sun by the time Tuesday and Wednesday rolls around. Eastern Labrador, gonna jump up to -7 tomorrow and then dip back down into the -20s by the time Monday and Tuesday rolls around. For western Labrador, unfortunately down to the -30s by the time Monday night rolls around, and that's because we're going to see plenty of sunshine. So that's a look at your forecast. I'll have your weather photo coming up. Carolyn?
Thanks, Ashley. Well, as we usher in a new decade, Here and Now has been taking a look back at some New Year's Eves gone by. We're particularly enjoying our Y2K coverage, and as you're about to see, not everyone was worried about what that new decade would bring. From 1999, here's Natalie Clancy.
Canada, Happy New Year!
On George Street, the party started early. Y2K, ready or not.
What do you think of all this Y2K stuff?
I think whatever happens, happens. It's fate. I think we're all here to party, and it's just going to be a great time.
Some spent hundreds, even thousands of dollars to be the first on the continent to see 2000. Tickets at this ball went for $500 a couple. The Bannisters brought the whole family.
Well, I'm from Kent, Tunbridge, Kent in England, and we're over here just as we arrived on Boxing Day because my wife is a Newfoundlander. She's from St. John's.
So this is your second millennium?
Yes, that's right. I started celebrating at 8:30.
My husband's from Newfoundland, and my mother's never been here, so I figure it's the year 2000, we got to be there, and she wanted to come, and my sister had been here before, and she loved it so much that we thought it would be wonderful to be here to bring in the the Millennium, the first place in Canada.
Okay, there's about 1.5 inches of snow on the roof, so it's not dangerous.
The Sullivan family stayed home, but don't try this at home, kids.
We're having a little brandy to go with it. Whoa, be careful! This is a 12-year tradition for us, and as I said, we have people in the house from age 2 to 82. Not all hours. Happy New Year!
What do you think? Are you scared about Y2K?
I'm not really scared. I don't know. It's just another day to me.
I don't know. My grandmother's scared home. She got like her flashlight and everything ready. But I don't really believe in everything's gonna crash.
I'm gonna tell you now, she's going up tonight.
The whole world watched what Great Big Sea called the world's biggest kitchen party, Millennium, Newfoundland style. Thousands braved the cold and the crowd.
I think it's relax, be calm, and wait for the sign, which means actually we're worried about being consumed in a nuclear mushroom cloud at 12:01. But we're not that concerned about it, certainly.
So it's not some big religious statement?
Oh, heavens, no. It's just our way of saying that we hope we die at 12:01, because if we have to wake up with a hangover tomorrow morning, we're not going to be very happy.
What do you think of Y2K?
None. We're Newfoundlanders. We're not afraid of nothing.
I think Y2K is the biggest con of the century.
So just minutes before midnight, the clock is almost about to strike, and we couldn't find one single soul, not one person in this crowd who was the slightest bit worried about Y2K.
Seconds into the new year and not so much as a power flicker. It looked like any other night, except back on George Street. And those not quite dressed for the cold chose this sold-out bash, where if you weren't dancing, you were drinking. But not to worry, for all those who had more than a little too much, paramedics were there to help. For most, the Millennium Bash in Newfoundland proved to be little more than a hangover in the making and a night to remember. Natalie Clancy, CBC News, St. John's.
Take a look at this great photo. I'll tell you where this is to when we come back.
Time to find out who's celebrating. Happy 100th birthday to Agnes Crew of Ramia, who celebrated her big day yesterday. Malcolm and Sarah Rogers from Trinity, Bonavista Vista Bay are celebrating their 53rd wedding anniversary. Congratulations. Happy 96th birthday to Viola Penny of Little Seldom, Fogo Island, now living in Grand Falls, Windsor. Happy 57th anniversary to Hannah and Aloysius Lake of Dunville. Happy 96th birthday to Maud Hibbs Whalen of Belle Island, now living in Spaniards Bay.
Happy 55th wedding anniversary to Selby and Norma Suley of Daniels Harbor. Happy 55th anniversary to Anne and Winston Parsons of Corner Brook. And wishing Dennis and Pauline Hatch of Brownsdale a happy 62nd wedding anniversary. Happy 54th anniversary to Raymond and Betty Jean Lodge of Deer Lake. And congratulations to Ronald and Jane Sims of Galtus, who are celebrating 52 years of marriage.
Happy 56th anniversary to George and Florence Clark of Deer Lake. Happy 63rd wedding anniversary to Mike and Mary Bridgman, formerly of St. Brendan's, now living in Pickering, Ontario. Happy 90th birthday to Tom Kiersey of St. John's. Wishing Roy Bishop of Goulds a very happy 90th birthday. Sending 92nd birthday wishes to Jim Laughlin from his family and friends.
Congratulations to Ralph and Elizabeth Lavelle of MacGyvers, Bay of Islands, on their 58th wedding anniversary. Happy 59th anniversary tomorrow to Alexandra and Ellen Jackson of Cavendish. And happy 51st wedding anniversary to Mike and Melita Wilcott from Lab City. Happy 57th anniversary to Doris and Hiram Lemoyne of Port aux Basques. Happy 56th anniversary to Lynn and Eric Perry of Bloomfield.
69th wedding anniversary greetings going out to Anthony and Anita Murphy of Long Harbor, now living in Glovertown. Happy 91st birthday to Emmy Clark of Victoria. Happy 93rd birthday to Ida Dalton of Belle Island. Congratulations to Claude and Flora Boyd. They're celebrating 65 years of marriage. Happy 54th anniversary to Ted and Phyllis Pilgrim in Happy Valley Goose Bay.
Happy 56th anniversary tomorrow to Bert and Flora Sims of Port aux Basques. Congratulations to Austin and Elizabeth Hookie of Champneys West, who are celebrating their 63rd wedding anniversary. Happy birthday to Reverend Hubert Mercer of St. John's, who turns 90 years old tomorrow. Anniversary greetings going out to Dennis and Annie Nash of Branch, who are celebrating their 57th anniversary on Sunday. And happy 98th birthday to Philomena Broderick in Gander.
A very happy 90th birthday to Ruth Manning of Goulds. Happy 53rd anniversary to Roger and Joan Jenkins of Tizards Harbor. Happy 66th wedding anniversary to Robert and Caroline Chalk of Charlottetown, Bonavista Bay. Happy 53rd wedding anniversary to Rose and Stan McDonald of Ramia. John and Nancy Coffey of Branch, St. Mary's Bay, are celebrating 50 years of marriage. They now live in Whitburn.
Happy 59th anniversary to Pat and Glennis Cody of Mount Pearl. Happy 62nd anniversary today to Silas and Blanche Rogers of Chapel Arm. Francis and Jim Cox of Wesleyville are celebrating their 50th anniversary. Congratulations. And happy 50th anniversary also to Gord and Corina Vokey of Whitbourne. Wishing Maud and Charles Kendall a happy 55th wedding anniversary this Sunday. And happy 50th anniversary to Les and Millie Cutler of Ramia.
Fine crowd.
There you go. Look at that beautiful photo. Showed you that just before the break.
Lovely.
Any idea?
No.
Well, it's a highway.
Okay.
Yeah, so some caribou actually on the Bay Despair Highway.
Oh, that's a very long highway down to the south coast.
It is.
Used to drive that when I was younger.
Oh, did you?
Family down that way.
Oh,
yeah.
Nice. Yeah, so Aiden sent us that lovely photo. Caribou loving the salt on the roads. Thank you so much for sending that in. And if you have any weather photos you'd like to share with us, send them to nlphotos@cbc.ca.
Well, thanks so much for joining us, everyone, and have a great weekend.
Have a great weekend.